Hi, this is a simple video because this is a simple car. This is PowerDrift. My name is Tenhut and the simple name of the simple car, Maruti Suzuki Ertiga. Now we could be talking a lot about the Ertiga or we could be talking less, but let's instead keep things very simple and talk only about the things that you really need to know about the Ertiga. So first off, the all-new Ertiga is based on the Heartect platform. Now when I think of the all-new Ertiga, I think 130-45, which means this is longer by 130 millimeters, wider by 40 millimeters and taller by 5 millimeters. That should excavate more space on the inside. We'll talk of space later. Let's first get to a very interesting proposition in the all-new Ertiga, the dash. Because the dash in the earlier Ertiga looked like the one from Desire, you shall agree, but the dash out here in the all-new Ertiga is an all-new dash that looks very premium and quite sleek to my eyes. Because of the aircon vents that stretch across the width of the cabin, it also ends up looking like one of the modern Audis, if you know what I mean. Then there is this forward on the dash, this forward on the flat bottom 3-spoke steering wheel out here. And in a car like this, if you haven't noticed already, look at the amount of headroom that you really get. Now push button start to start the engine, which is an all-new engine. We'll get to engine later, but then you see these two blue dials with an MID display housed between them, and then a 7-inch touchscreen display which is now on. Also comes with Apple Android Auto CarPlay. Well, there's navigation, and the top-end variant of Ertiga also comes equipped with a reverse parking camera with parking sensors. You also have 120 watt 12 volt socket out here, USB and aux also, and a very nifty convenient feature for the first time that we see here in this segment is ventilated cup holders, so you can keep your drinks cool or prevent your phone from overheating if you happen to charge it very often out here. Climate control is automatic in the top end variant. And now with that done, let's head over to the bonnet where we get to talk about the engine. Now the new Ertiga gets a new heart, which is a 1.5 litre petrol engine, SVHS, SHVS, SVHS, basically a hybrid tech petrol engine that helps you with engine start stop at idle. It helps you with brake regeneration and torque assist when driving the car. Now because of this tech, the car price has increased by a lakh rupee because, well, it gets lithium ion battery now, which is a straight import from Japan. But in spite of the increase in cost, the all new Ertiga still manages to undercut everything out there in the segment, and as such then it's phenomenal value and a great simple car. What do we head to next? Let's find out. Alright, now let's get talking about the space in the all-new Ertiga, which doesn't really do a lot of new things per se, but rather improves on what was lacking in the earlier Ertiga, by which I really mean the space at the third row out there. The earlier Ertiga was a 5-seater, this one tries to be a 7-seater and manages that quite well. Now, before we get there, yes, the second row has reclinable seats, the third row too has reclinable seats, and the only way to get there is, well, tumble this, shift the seat ahead, and now's the tough part. Not really that tough. Out here, I could certainly be sitting in comfort for at least 100 kilometers, wouldn't be a problem. So definitely the third row comfort now in the all-new Ertiga is 2 thumbs up. Something that you should keep in mind is that you also get adjustable headrests in the third row, in the second row, and also of course at the front seats. And something else that you should keep in mind is the fact that those vents out there here for the second row, they are not aircon vents but just simple blowers. Now let's get on the move, and while we are on the move, we'll talk about how the Ertiga looks, and while we are on the move, we'll of course talk about how it drives. Oh, the new Ertiga certainly looks pretty when placed in an urban environment. It gets new grille with chrome inserts flanked by twin-pod halogen projector headlamps. The car also now has a dual-tone front bumper with fog lamps and a 3-slat air dam, if that tickles your fancy. It comes with blacked out B and C pillars, electric ORVMs with turn signals, and 15-inch multi-spoke alloy wheels. At the rear, Ertiga gets L-shaped LED tail lamps and a new bumper with integrated reflectors. And now, oh, the car looks so pretty when put in a pretty urban environment. Now, if we are done talking about the looks of the all-new Ertiga, then let's get talking about the driving and the dynamics. Now first off, though it's a long car, though it's a big car, though it's an MPV, it doesn't feel like that when you're driving the car. The steering action is pretty easy, gear shift action is short throws, the clutch is very light, and overall it feels like you're driving a hatch until you look back into the rear view mirror, which is when the car seems like a long car. This car is the 1.5 litre petrol 5-speed manual car. It makes about 103 horses, 138 Newton meters of torque. The diesel one would make about 89 horses, and in petrol you also get an automatic variant, but not in the top end. You know why they do that. The manufacturers, to keep the sticker price down, there will be an automatic coming up and in the top end variant very soon. Because this car gets the SVHS hybrid tech, it definitely gets the go off the mark, which is not what you would get in petrol engines, because petrol engines don't make a lot of power or torque, or rather make no power or no torque in low revs, but this one gets that go off the mark, and at about 3,500 4,000 RPM you also get that surge that you would from petrol engine. In terms of refinement, the engine is refined, but there is considerable noise inside the cabin. I think insulation is something that could have been better. And now if the car were to be loaded with 5 people or 7 people, and if the car were to be going up an incline, then that is when you will feel the strain, because it's not a very powerful engine. Nevertheless, it's peppy enough for all the daily driving conditions. It's also peppy enough for an overtake maneuver like right now. I think I will say it once again, there is absolutely nothing that is a deal breaker when it comes to the all-new Ertiga. The all-new Ertiga, however, still runs on same wheels, which is 15 inches, but this platform allows it to be slightly more agile when maneuvering through traffic, and yes, a bit more nimble, a bit more agile is not going to be something that you would complain about if you were to go in for this car. And the suspension too is very compliant, very supple, and there's absolutely nothing that I would find faults with right now. Okay, we are at toll booth, and this is where you know, the light clutch action when in stop-go traffic like this, it really comes in handy. It really helps you. There's nothing about this car that stresses you up, and there it is, the idle start stop function has kicked in. Our car right now has switched itself off. I mean the engine, and that's the SVHS hybrid tech. It's supposed to get better fuel efficiency, and that it would. Right now the MID display reads 12.7 kilometers to the liter. The diesel one, by the way, with the hybrid tech will get you 25 kilometers to the liter, but the automatic one, I'm not quite so sure. Oh yeah, as soon as you press in the clutch pedal, the car starts. Now that marks the end of our simple coverage of this simple car. Before I sign out, let me summarize what the car really is. It's a great value at a terrific price. Now this car starts at about 7.44 lakhs, goes all the way up to 10 lakhs ex-showroom, but the price at which this stops, the petrol top end, is the price at which Honda BRV, for example, starts. If we talk about Marazzo, it just gets a diesel variant. If we talk of Logi, then it again gets a diesel variant, though the Logi is priced nearly the same as the diesel Ertiga, but this one is just better put together. And by the way, this is going to be sold at Maruti Suzuki Arena, which is the non-Nexa showroom or dealership, and the reach that they have is about 2,300 dealerships across the country. So in short, as an ending line, well, there's nothing wrong that you can really do if you go in for this Maruti Suzuki all-new Ertiga. Thank you so much for watching PowerDrift, folks, and I'll see you again next time. Do remember to stay subscribed, because there's more very nice, interesting content pieces coming up about cars from Los Angeles and elsewhere too. And do follow us on our Instagram page. Goodbye.